Combro Mk4 CB-625. Hi there guys, this is just a review stroke overview of a chronograph that I bought a couple of years ago at the British Shooting Show. Fairly simple, standard thing, lots of people use them. As I said, I think this is about £40–45, something like that. So, you know, pretty good value when you consider that the big ones cost, can cost silly money. This is pretty accurate, as I said, most people use them. It goes over your muzzle, like this, and you put like an elastic band or something to hold it on. And then as you can see, it shoots through these gaps, and it measures the speed as it passes through here, and gives you the feet per second. And of course, if you program in the grain of the pellet, which is the weight, it can then work out what the foot-pound is. Now you may be wondering, why would you want to chronograph your gun? Well, if you've, especially if you've bought a gun second-hand, whether it's a spring-powered rifle or a pre-charged, you may find it's over the limit, because that does happen. A friend of mine I know had an air gun with that problem, had to get it sent off to get sorted out, or it might be under the limit, in which case you want it tuned or serviced or whatever to make sure it's sort of as powerful as you can have it. And it also can be useful for sort of deciding what the best pellet to use is for your gun. You might have, I don't have this problem because I've only got about 2 types of pellet I can use in this, but if your gun can take a variety of different grain pellets, you may find that, and it's accurate with them, you may find that one particular brand gives you a more consistent power curve than another. So, that can be useful for that as well. What I would typically do is program in your the grain of the pellet, and then get a pen and paper, maybe make a sort of little graph, work out, say 80 shots or however many shots your gun can take, and then just record the power output of each shot going down until you've shot them all. I know it sounds like hard work, it is, but it's worth doing. If you've got a gun with a pressure gauge on it, it may be worth to record the pressure as it is on the rifle, maybe every 10 shots, something like that. And then at the end of it, you've got a nice, accurate piece of information telling you what power your particular gun produces with what pellet and at what pressure. And then over time, you can work out which pellet you'd most like to use, which is, as I said, not just giving you the most power up to the legal limit, but also consistency. Because what you can find is that different pellets can affect how consistent the output is. You might find that there's a bigger spread between them with certain brands than others, so it's useful for that as well. If you can adjust it, like I can, because this gun was made before the anti-tamper regulations came in, you can actually adjust the power yourself slightly, just to tune it to the perfect pellet, which can be very useful. But obviously, you need to use the chrono just to make sure it's legal. But obviously, as you're going through, when you're recording every single shot and the pressure, you can work out where the sweet spot is for your gun. Because most guns, if you fill them up fully charged, are actually producing less power than when they're maybe half or 3/4 charged. So by doing that, and especially as I said, if you record the pressure, I can't because I haven't got a pressure gauge, but if you've got a pressure gauge and you record that, you can think, at 75% pressure, my gun performs best, and then so from then on, you never fill it fully charged. You just keep it at that pressure when you go out hunting. Obviously, if you're doing target shooting, it's not quite the same, because you want to get you want lots of capacity. But if you're hunting, you're only going to use 10, maybe 20 shots max in an afternoon. So you want to work out where those 20 shots are that you would like to use. Which 10 or 20 shots on your graph are the closest together in terms of power, and obviously, hopefully, being as high as you can have for power as well. So anyway, when you're using this, I believe you can actually get a cable for this and plug it into your computer, and then use something like ShareGun, which is a bit of software made by Hawk, or that they may even do their own software, which will record it all for you, which obviously makes life a lot easier. But as I said, I just use pen and paper, to be honest. But anyway, when you turn it on, you press the reset switch, and you can see here it's got that sort of square, and this is ready to go now. If I shot down there, it would record it. I don't know if it'll no, won't record my finger moving through it, but as you can see, it's there ready to go. Now if I wanted to change that, if I wanted to change the way this is set up, if you just hold down the reset switch till it goes out, that's to turn it off, but if I keep holding it, it'll come on again, and as you can see now, it says 14.3 and the 3 is flashing. That is the grain of the pellet that I've programmed it for, because I use Webley AccuPals and they're 14.3 grains. But if I press this PDS button, I can choose the different digits, and then I can press FPS to change them, if you see what I mean, and set it up how I want. I'll keep that at 14.3 because that's what mine does. When you're happy with that, just press reset again, it'll go off, press it on again, and it's now ready to go. It's very important that you put the weight of the pellet in, because obviously it has no idea what the power is if it doesn't know what the weight is in comparison to how fast it's moving. So that's quite important. So yeah, I hope you find that useful. If you look in the next part of this video, I'll just give you a bit of an example of me, you know, how you might want to set it up if you're doing it indoors. Bear in mind, if you do this indoors with a pellet catcher, be very, very, very careful. It's alright for me because I just share a house with my brother and my dog, and I can shut the dog away, and I've got a pellet catcher, and you know, obviously I can shut the door. But you know, don't ever do this if you're unsure, because you know you don't want to shoot anyone, basically. All the furniture, in fact, because I managed to shoot my bedside cabinet the other day by accident, but that was you know, an error. So be very careful. So yeah, let me know what you think. So you can see here I've got my rudimentary range set up indoors. It's not more than about 3 or 4 feet away from the muzzle. That's I think it's a Bisley pellet catcher. I don't know if it's Bisley or not, but it's a very good one. It will completely flatten the pellets and sort of take all the energy out of them. But you do sometimes get ricochets, so it's very, very important. I can't stress this enough, to wear shooting glasses when you're doing this. You also need to have, I mean, if it's your own place like me, it doesn't really matter, but obviously if you're living with your parents, you probably do want to get permission, because your mum will go mental when she sees all the bits of lead all over the carpet, and obviously the Hoover won't pick them up because they're quite heavy, so bear that in mind. I tend to do this indoors because at the range it's a pain, you get in people's way, and you know, all the rest of it, and you know, you need plenty of room to write everything down, and so on and so forth. And I could do this outside, like at my dad's, but his neighbour tends to complain because his dog doesn't like the noise and so on. So it's just easier for me. But obviously, if you do this at home, make sure you've got a proper pellet catcher, you've got eye protection, and you know for a certainty there's no one is going to get in the way. For me, the door is to my left of where I'm shooting, so there's absolutely no way that anyone can get involved, no dog can get in the way or anything like that. But essentially, put your glasses on, which I'm just doing now, set up the chrono, point the gun, the muzzle at the target, and fire. Simple as that. And you record each shot. To give you an idea of what this pellet catcher can do, I don't know if this can have a little focus, but you can see that's just the pellet I just fired, and I don't know if that's going to focus very well, but basically it's completely flattened it, and as I said, the Hoover does not like picking these up. So, as I said, let's give it a go. I'll do a few shots through, and you can get an idea of what the chronograph works like.
empty.
So there we are then. You should have noticed that my gun got up to about 11.95 foot-pounds, and I know some of you are probably thinking, oh goodness, that's dangerously close. But it isn't. I've previously mapped the entire power band on this, and I know the absolute highest it gets up to on like one shot, I think it was 11.97. Usually it's around 11.5 foot-pounds. When I did this test just now, it wasn't fully charged, it was actually in the sweet spot. This gun goes up to 190 bar, I always charge it up to 180, and it's probably about 155 bar where it's actually at its maximum, which is about what it is now because I fully charged it yesterday and then shot off about a mag and a half. In terms of the pellets that I've been shooting at this pellet catcher, that's what they end up like as they're bouncing off. And as I said, these go onto your carpet, so you know, if your mum is in charge of your room, don't do this. Find somewhere else. I'm alright because, you know, to be honest, I'm a bit of a messy git and it doesn't bother me and I can pick them all up. But as I said, these don't get picked up by the Hoover. So there we are. It's a good idea. Get yourself one of these if you can afford it. It allows you to stay safe, stay legal. It makes sure that you can be as consistent as possible. You can find the best pellet and fire your gun at the best pressure to make sure that every shot you take counts and it's where you want it to be. And you can be humane, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. If you're shooting animals, you want to make sure that you take them out well. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed that. By all means, give me feedback. And don't forget, like and subscribe.